Good morning, Temple Kolemeth. Today is Election Day. In one of the most difficult election cycles in recent memory. Hopefully, after this is all over, we can get back to normal again and run the business of our country. But it has been so divisive and so challenging for our country. And it is time to figure out where to go and what to do after the election is over. I personally am exhausted from all of this. And I know that many of you are as well. And the number one thing to do on this day, if you haven't done, is go out and vote. Because for the first time since the temple stood in Jerusalem and we had control of our own fate, Jews in the United States are able to vote. And we never take that for granted. There were so many that fought for the right for us to be able to vote. That being said, there is a beautiful piece of liturgy, of prayer in our Yom Kippur liturgy, as well as that comes from the Torah about God's 13 attributes. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim v'Rav, Chesed v'Emet. God, O God, you're compassionate and merciful, gracious to the thousandth generation. And as we think about what these words mean, that graciousness and forgiveness are part of the Jewish experience. No matter where we've been in this past election cycle, let's forgive one another. We actually have an obligation to forgive. And even more so, we have an obligation, what the Torah teaches, the lechet bidrachav, to walk in God's ways, to show compassion. That we know whatever the result of this election happens to be, we know that people will be sad. We know that people will be challenged to figure out what we do after the fact. And I implore you, on behalf of Judaism and Jewish tradition, to be compassionate and to forgive. These two Jewish values are so intrinsic to Jewish life. It's what's kept us alive for thousands of years, with hope in our hearts allowing us to move on to whatever has occurred. Let us move on together. Let us forgive one another, and let us be compassionate. And what does compassion mean in this moment? It means not to gloat. It means not to throw stuff all over social media, blasting one candidate or another, or one party over the other. Let us commit in this new year to talk about the issues that matter, and let us work together to solve them. Because no matter who is elected, the issues remain the same. Let us make sure that we don't miss this moment as we pave the way for the generations to come. Let us make sure that we create a world that we want, a world of compassion, of justice, and of mercy. Happy Election Day, Temple Kolemeth. Get out there and vote, and be compassionate, and show forgiveness.